Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I think I've got some glare on here. All right, says I'm live now, so let's get started. I don't think anybody's here yet. At least I don't see any comments, so if you're here, leave a comment. And welcome to, what is this, episode 27, Monday, April 26th. I can't believe that April is almost over. It's just been such a topsy-turvy month here with good weather, bad weather, snow, rain. Today it was kind of trying to get warm. Tomorrow it's going to be 81 or 80 something. So it's what it is in Ohio. So again, if you're here, welcome. And if you're here, leave a comment so I know you're here. And I'll show you what we're going to do today. Today is this week is kind of wrapping up the retired stamp sets and the retired items that are going away. Next week, hey Fran, welcome. Next Monday will be the last live showing this catalog. So I've been focusing on a little bit of old, things that are going to go away, and a little bit of new as far as some of the new colors and keeping a line with that, because there'll be plenty of time to show new stuff. So this catalog is what I'm going to focus on today, and this is a favorite stamp set. Let's see, let me move that out of the way here. Hey Gloria, welcome. And it's called To a Wild Rose. It's a beautiful stamp set. It is one of our distinctive stamps, which means that where you see the light and the dark on something like this, it gives you a more photorealistic idea of what the stamp looks like. And here on this one, let me zoom in a little bit. Hi Carol, welcome. Let's see, let me move this up here. There we go. Where you see some light and some dark, it just gives a really more realistic image than just a plain old stamp, I guess, if that's the best way to do it. And not only that, it's got great sentiments. And so that's what I want to focus on. This stamp set is 10% off as a retired. It's $23.40. The best part are the dies that go with this stamp set. And that's Wild Rose, and that's on page 183. Down here, all of these will go through the mini die cut and embossing machine. We call it the Mini Boss, but $34. It's discounted to $8.50. So 75% off. And I am going to do a little bit of die cutting today. I just want to emphasize that the die that I'm actually going to use, I've cut a couple things out ahead of time to save some time, because I have actually 2 cards I want to show you today. But this little frame die is probably worth it. It's a little stitched frame. It's worth it. I'm going to leave that out because I'm actually going to use that in a minute. So this is the stamp set. These are the dies. Great, great bargain. All right. So I wanted to tell you too, the blending brushes are back in stock. These, I think, came back in stock last week, and they are in the January to June mini catalog on page 86, and 3 of them for $12. And I do have quite a few. I've got some that will go with the different color families, but 3 is fine to get started: light, medium, dark. And there's no ink coming out of this. And actually, I had so much ink on this that I washed this morning before I went out for an appointment about 11 o'clock. And it's dry and other than the color that's on there, it's back to brand new. It's perfect. So that's a good thing. Let's hope that they ordered enough. Hey, LJ, welcome. Let's hope they ordered enough of them to keep them in stock. Okay. The card that I'm going to do today is going to use a blending brush. And actually I said I had 2 cards. So I've got a little trick, a ribbon trick, close to the end. I hope you stick around for that. And if not, everything gets posted on YouTube, or you can catch the replay later. So I do have a few things already pre-cut, and I've got a piece of basic white that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then I've got this piece that's going to go on the front like this, and I'm going to give it an ombre look. Okay, one of these days I'll have to stop wearing this sweatshirt down here in my little studio. It's kind of chilly down here again. All right, I am going to use some of the new colors today. I've got Soft Succulent for our leaves, Pale Papaya, and I'm also going to use Calypso Coral on this card, and then on the other card I'm going to use the new Polished Pink. So let's get some ombre going here. All right, so ombre means you start like kind of like dark to light up here. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap here on the ink pad, and I want to tap it off onto my scrap paper and start off of my paper to brush that on. And this is a really pretty orangey peachy color, and if you have one of the new catalogs, you'll see that there's a stamp set in there that has peaches in it, and I know that this will be great with that. So I'm starting off the edge and going up. There's not much color there. Let's add some more. I've used this color ink pad a lot already. So I'm going to keep going up here. And as it gets lighter up here, I'm just going to add more dark at the bottom. So the color will kind of blend. And I'm not going to go all the way up to the top because of the next step that I'm going to do. So I think that's about it. And then the more I blend, the more the colors blend too. And then the top is going to be pretty white. Okay. So that's that part. And now I'm going to stamp in Calypso Coral. I found that these colors look pretty good together. And what I'm going to do at the top is stamp the sentiment. And as I said, the sentiments in this stamp set are really nice. True friendship is one of God's greatest gifts. And all of you who are watching me right now, you're good friends. So this is for you. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this a little bit down from the top, but I also want to make sure that I'm getting some of that color that I put up there. All right, so there's a little bit of color that is going in there. And before I forget, I'm going to clean that. And this is a Photopolymer Stamp Set. And as you can see, I don't know how long we've had this one. It's been at least a couple of years, maybe 3, and it has been used a lot. So now I'm going to close that ink pad so I don't get it all over me and the card. And okay, I know that I put that die somewhere. I don't think I put it back in here. I did not. Okay, here we have an issue. There we go. This is the die that I'm going to use. And I could have taken another piece of paper and cut this out. Hi, Lisa, welcome. This is a stamp set called To a Wild Rose. And if you missed the beginning, it's on page 15 of the current catalog. And the dies that go with it are on page 183. And it is, the dies are 75% off. And the stamp set is 10% off right now. All right, so I could have done this on another piece of paper and die cut it out, but I'm going to die cut out of my card panel. And let's bring the Stampin' Cut and Emboss over here. And I'll kind of zoom out a little bit so maybe you can see that a little bit better. And put that there. And I don't think I need any tape to hold that down. It should stay pretty good. I've got a base plate, plate 1, plate 2 for the thin dies. And really those are the only dies we have anywhere. We don't have any thick dies. So plate 2, a plate 3, and that looks pretty good. And another plate 3. And there we go. So it's kind of a paper saving trick because I'm going to pop that right back in the card to finish it off. And you see that it's got enough of the little ombre look that I was looking for up in the bottom part of that, very light. So now let's add some snail. Whoops, I keep saying snail. That was last year's adhesive. This is this year's adhesive. Zoom back in again. This is called Seal. And sometimes it wants to not advance through, but I found that most of the time if you kind of flick your wrist, that it will adhere and stay in the track. So there we go. And a little bit more here. You just advance it through, no big deal. All right, so that's going to go on my card front. And this is the regular seal. It's not quite as strong as the Seal Plus, but the Seal Plus has no wiggle room to it. So once you put that down there, it's there. So there we've got that. And then this can go right back in there on Stampin' Dimensionals. So let me grab those. And I want to make sure that this, okay, I've got one more before I have to, two more before I start pulling on the sides here. So I want to put one in the middle so that it doesn't kind of collapse in the middle there. So take these off. And there we go. I never skimp on dimensionals. And you can cut them in half if you need to. And we also have mini dimensionals for smaller areas. So I'm just going to put that right back down in the middle where I cut it out, but it's going to pop up. There we go. So you can never really tell that it was cut out from beneath. And if you do look, it's just white underneath there anyway. So it's okay. It's good. Now, the rest of the card I have pre-cut because I'm going to do the flower stamping on the next card. And here again, I have stamped in the Pale Papaya, which is the new in color for next year, and Calypso Coral. And they look really nice together. The second card, I think I said I was going to use the Polished Pink. So now I'm going to, and there, you can see I made a mistake on this backside. So I turned it over, cut it out. It's okay. So now is when I use all these little extra pieces of my Stampin' Dimensionals to add them to a card. So no dimensionals go wasted. Okay, let's see. I hope. Okay, I think I'm good. I didn't want to get these dimensionals too close to the edge because I want to snip or put the leaves under there and make sure that they will fit. There, we got it all. All right, so, okay, I don't like the white that's around the edge here, so that's just me. I'm going to sponge a little bit around that edge. I don't know, that's probably not doing it real good either. Because this might have slipped a little bit when I put it through the die cutting machine. But it's still okay. All right. And yeah, I guess that can go like that. And let's grab some mini dimensionals to put on the leaves. You get a lot of the little minis, a lot of those. Okay, so I'm going to snip the, let me see where it's going to go before I do any snipping. Okay, where's the funniest place you have found a Stampin' Dimensional in your house? I find them upstairs and my furniture. The little, not the dimensional itself, but these little backing pieces. Oh my gosh, they're crazy. Okay, where's the other one? Right here. And more little babies. So what kind of weekend did everybody have? Are you ready for tomorrow's warmer weather? We'll see how long that lasts. As I said when I started today, it's been a topsy-turvy April, and we never know what to expect. Okay, so there we go. This one I'm going to snip this little stem off. There we go on that one too. Okay, one of the little embellishments that we have, for some reason I fell in love with these, and so I bought a lot of them. There's more. In fact, I combined a set of these. So I've got ladybugs galore. So I'm going to add a ladybug to this. These are also in the January to June mini catalog, and they were in the, they're, I think, going to be gone at the end of June if they don't sell out before then. So we can put that on with a little mini glue dot. So I've got lots of ladybugs. These are, sometimes I buy some of the sentiments, or not the sentiments, excuse me, but the embellishments, and then I don't end up using them. I hoard them. Don't ask me why. It's just because then they'll be gone, right? There. So how about that? We got this cute little flower with a ladybug, and true friendship is one of God's greatest gifts. There we go. So I've got one other little tip with this card, and one of I believe one of our hidden products, let's put it that way, are the clear envelopes we sell. And these are on the same page. I will look it up here in a sec. I've got it written down. These are on the same page as our regular envelopes in basic white and very vanilla. Page 153. And I think they're a hidden gem. They're here with the medium envelopes. Let me zoom in. And I guess the reason I wanted to show these today is because I was on a chat with a group the other day, and somebody said, where are the clear envelopes? I've never seen those before. And yes, you cannot see them because they're clear. And it's just something that's overlooked and not paid much attention to. But they're so much fun to mail a card in one of those envelopes. You get 50 of them for $6 before tax and shipping, of course. And I do like to mail them like this. I'll zoom out again. And it's the same size as our regular envelope. And you put your card in there. And then take a piece of computer paper, just plain computer paper, cut it like 4 by 5 1/4, and write your address on there to whoever. Oops, that one doesn't work. Susie Stamper. And slip that in there. With your return address. Peel this off and seal it. The only requirement that the post office has is that you put your stamp on the outside so they can cancel it. And then this is what your recipient will get in the mail, and they'll get to see that card, and the postman will get to see it too, or post lady, whatever. And I don't think in this case that little ladybug is too much of a problem either. But these are just so much fun to use. They're less expensive, and it's like a hug in the mail. So that's that one. And now I have a trick on the next card too. So stick around. This is a little fun fold card. And I've got a ribbon trick with this one. And with this, I'm going to use the new polished pink. I love this pink. I'm tempted to find a nail polish that will go with this one. So I keep sticking with my pale nails. So I might want to get this because I just love that color. And I'm going to use some of the designer paper from the True Love designer paper. It's also in the January to June mini catalog. It's still around. It will be around till June. I used some of it last week in that magnolia card. So it's got these pretty flowers over here and then just a design on the other side. So there, you probably saw the card real quick there. So anyway, this is 8.5 by 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So it looks like a little mini card. I'm going to put this on the front and a piece of basic white inside. This is such a cute little and a quick fun fold. A fun fold, yes, you can put the address label on the outside of the clear envelopes too. If you have address labels, LJ, sometimes I don't always have those address labels, or I write a little bit bigger. But yeah, anything can go on the outside as long as make sure the stamp is there. All right, so I'm going to adhere this to the front. And I think you'll like this. Oh, a fun fold is anything but the type of card that I just showed you, or the one that folds down from the top. And that I do have some other samples to show you too. I kind of get carried away when I get started with these. So this is on the outside. This can go on the inside. So we've got a place for our sentiment. Or greeting, I guess. I don't mean the sentiment. Sentiment's going to go on the outside. Okay, so there's our basic card. Doesn't look like very much. There we go. Let me burnish this a little bit better. Okay. Now for the stamping is just a piece of basic white that is 3 by 3, and then it's going to get mounted on another piece of black that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Yes, fun folds are just so different. I've got another one to show too, but it adds something to it. So on this one, I'm going to use the polished pink, and I'm not going to use another color with it. So just this one. Oh, I forgot to do something, but it's okay. I'll make it right. Now with this one, remember when I showed you the distinctive at the beginning? We had like the shadow stamp, and that is this one here. It's got some dimension to it, but it's more of a shadow. So on that one, I'm going to get some ink on there, but I'm going to stamp it off because the stamp that's going to go over it, which is this one, I want to make sure that it really pops out. So I'm going to get some ink off of that one, and let me rephrase that. With the photopolymer, you should really have a soft foam underneath it. This is our paper piercing mat. You can use a mouse pad because this didn't pick up that part there where it should have. There's no foam here like we have in our cling stamps. So I want to make sure that I get all the ink that I can. So let's stamp that off again. And you'll notice that I've got a little black dot at the top of this. This is basically a 3-step stamp set, and I want to make sure that these are going to line up as best I can. So I'm going to stamp that there, give it a good press so that it picks that up, and that's much better, much better. Now I've got the over stamp that gives the detail that I want. If you can see that through with the detail. And I've also got a little black dot up here, so I know that that will match up when I match where I stamp this one. But this one I am not going to stamp off. And let's see if I can do this. I don't know if you'll get my, yep, you're going to get my head in the screen there. Okay, it's off just a little bit, but because the colors are so much alike, it's good. It's okay. So let's put that away. Let's get that soft succulent. This is my new favorite green. I love this green. It's the new in color. We'll have this for 2 years. We'll have this one for 2 years. The polished pink for 2 years. So on here, I'm going to stamp this lighter, just the leaf part. I'm going to stamp it off a little bit. And this is going to go off the edge. Do that again. And go off the edge. And now we've got the detailed leaf stamp. Now I don't want this stem to be stamped because it'll go over the flower. So I'm just going to kind of rub that off a little bit and line that up. And do the same thing here. What's stamping if you don't have inky fingers? Because the ink will wash off. All right. So that's not very straight, but it's okay. All right. All that's left here is to use some Memento to put that in the center and add the sentiment hello. Perfect. All right, before I put this one together, I wanted to show you my ribbon trick. And let me see if this is going to work here before I put it together. I meant to put this around just the designer paper before I put this around the back. Okay, my ribbon trick is not going to work because okay, let me show you my ribbon trick. I'm not going to put it on this card though. If you ever want to do this, I needed to make sure that this went behind this. So let me show you on something else that I've got here. All right. Well, now I've got ink on there. That's my day. All right. Take your piece of ribbon, and this is about almost 10 inches, and find like a chunky marker. This is one of the blends. You could wrap this around something like this. So what I'm going to do is create a loop. And I'll show you what I mean on the sample that I did. So I'm going to make a knot, a little square knot, left over right, and then right over left. I hope you're not hearing my stomach growl because I skipped lunch. Now I'm going to slide that off. And okay, I guess I didn't have another piece of black ready. Then this is going to go on the designer paper. So this was my thought before I put that on there too quickly. I'm going to add the adhesive to the back. Just a small portion there. Let's get this to work. Okay, let's grab something else. Let's grab our old snail. That doesn't want to slide through. Okay, I'm just going to put some adhesive on both sides of this. And this is why I can't do it on this card, because I can't do what I'm doing here and hide this in the back. So there we have that. And then wrap it around the back where it won't be seen. This won't be seen there. Okay? I'm going to take a little glue dot and put it under the knot to hold it down. And then take your scissors and at an angle, snip that, and you've got your little faux bow. And it's so much easier than trying to struggle to get it wrapped around there. And it does save a little bit of ribbon, but it's just a cute little trick. So I'll save this and put it on another card. All right, how do we finish this card? Well, this already has some ink on there, so I'll have to figure out how to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and put it together. This is going to go on a piece of basic black. Now on this one, we're going to use a regular envelope. And as long as your card does not exceed the size of the envelope, that's where this is going to go. So you know where to add your adhesive. Yeah, that's a fun ribbon trick. I had not done that for a long time. So I'm trying to think back things that I used to do way back in my early stamping days. Okay, so this is going to go here, and I know that I can add adhesive right here. Now, you don't have to have the envelope handy, but it's good to have maybe a ruler handy so you know how far you can go up. Otherwise, it won't fit in the envelope. Could just use my little grid sheet too. There we go. So there we've got this cute little fun fold card. You can see it like that. So that you can't see it there. There we go. Well, you're not seeing it anyway. And let's put a little ladybug on there. I got lots of ladybugs to use before the end of June. All my cards are going to have ladybugs on them. Because we have bumblebees coming up in the next catalog. They're so cute. All right, so let's put this one over here on this leaf. I think ladybugs like leaves, I guess, better than flowers, whatever. And these do just fit a nice little glue dot there. Perfect. So this was the original card that I made. That also, I used that little ribbon trick, but I went around the designer paper. Okay, on this one, I will need to go around the whole thing and tie the knot. And this is one of the new in color ribbons. So it really sets it off well. Sometimes it's not that easy to get that little knot on there and keep your ribbon taut so that it stays tight. Okay, and put that away already. So let's add a glue dot under that. And it just keeps it in place a little bit better. And I got way more than I needed, but these little pieces that I'm trimming off will not go to waste. So there we go. All right, 2 cards. And here was one of the original ones that I made. Let's get some of the things out of the way. And I will show you some of the other samples that I made. Okay, so there are the 2 cards. Let me zoom out so you can see. And then these are some others that I made. This one, I'd use the outline stamp that, there we go, that I did not use on any of the cards today. And then I had this circle die just kind of hanging around, so I decided to use that. And this one I just sponged blend with the blending brush in there. And this has an embossing folder on it. This embossing folder is also going to be in the new catalog, and it's from the January to June mini. Now, here is one. This is a background die that is also going to be retired, and I believe it's called Stitched Lace, and it's from $35 down to $14. And this is just beautiful. It goes through the die machine well with all those little holes punching out. Here was another one that I made, like the one I just finished. And this is with, I tried to put a couple colors together. Misty Moonlight and Calypso Coral, and that also has a background of the Pale Papaya. This is a different fun fold that I used with the polished pink. And this one used the blends to color in instead of the stamping. And Blessed and Grateful. And then here was another one like the first one that I did today, just like this, only using the ombre into the pink. So I've got lots of these. So that finishes for today. And I'm looking forward to next week when we can do one more thing that's going to be retired. So join me back here again next week, which will be May 3rd. Do you believe it? May 3rd. So I wish you all a great evening. Have a great rest of the week. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for coming by. Bye-bye.